In a former magical time, the online YouTube atheist skeptic community, whatever you want to call it, based their content off things like logic, rationality, reason, and most of all, evidence. They were arguing with creationists and Christians.
Behold the atheist's nightmare. The contents don't squirt in your face. It's just the right shape for the human mouth. Seriously, Kirk, the whole of creation testifies to the genius of God's creative hand.
Who would be spending all of their time basing their beliefs off the evidence of the Bible and faith. So the Bible, like many other religious texts, including the Quran, was written by a range of people over a long period of time, so it was very difficult to discern the efficacy of these texts. But these people had a flawed view of reality based on taking things on faith.
Tide goes in, tide goes out. Never a miscommunication. You can't explain that. You can explain why the tide goes in.
Tide goes in, tide goes out.
See, the water, the tide comes in and it goes out, Mr. Silverman.
Maybe
it
it's
always
Thor
comes in,
on top of Mount Olympus who's making the tides go in and out.
No, but you can't explain that.
And the skeptic community was not a fan of this. One of these people was TJ Kirk, or the Amazing Atheist. Now, I remember way back in the day seeing a TJ Kirk video and thinking, this guy seems pretty smart. He seems like he's got his head on straight.
We accept the wisdom that power corrupts, yet we have created a society where order itself is contingent upon the benevolence of power. And you can see that reflected in the way that we talk to our children. We tell our children, oh, the policeman is your friend. The soldier is fighting for our freedom.
Now, a lot of apologetics will bring up entropy at this point. They say that matter and energy couldn't have been around forever because that would violate the second law of thermodynamics. Entropy has nothing to do with the destruction of energy or matter. I mean, when there's a video of white people doing dumb shit and behaving badly, the same people who presumably leave these racist comments on those other videos are suddenly not attributing these problems to race. They just say, hey, that guy in the video is an idiot. Blaming an entire race of people is dumb. You can take the spear chucker out of the jungle, but you can't take the jungle out of the spear chucker.
But if you want to see how TJ Kirk has been doing recently, I direct you to this video, in which the guy endorses Donald Trump. But Tim, I hear you saying, Donald Trump isn't that bad. He says a lot of reasonable things that I agree with.
Believe me. 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 Oh, believe me.
Because all things are possible to them that believe in the name of Jesus Christ.
Before I address why Donald Trump is, in my opinion, just an atrocious candidate and someone you under no circumstances should vote for, I would like to use this video to illustrate how I think rationality, reason, and using evidence in your arguments has completely disappeared from the online skeptic YouTube community. Now, this video is quite short. It's only 2 minutes 55, so you can watch it in its entirety pretty easily. It starts almost reasonable, even though he says bizarrely that Trump is like the real liberal and Hillary is more conservative, and Hillary's center-right and Trump is liberal. He says it's because Trump doesn't support the TPP, so he's super liberal.
I am going to withdraw the United States from the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which has not yet been ratified.
Son of a bitch. He stole my line.
But then again, neither does Hillary Clinton.
I will stop any trade deal that kills jobs or holds down wages, including the Trans-Pacific Partnership. I oppose it now, I'll oppose it after the election, and I'll oppose it as president.
Believe me.
But the problem is, candidates can renege on their promises.
We then provide the process whereby Guantanamo will be closed no later than 1 year from now.
So Trump could easily renege on it. He doesn't have a good history of being honest and not changing his positions, which he does constantly.
Hillary Clinton, I think, is a terrific woman. Well, first of all, I know her very well, and I know her husband very well, and I like them both. They are, just really terrific people. She really works hard, and I think she does a good job.
Hillary Clinton has changed a fair number of her positions, so I don't think that's a data point either way for saying that Trump is liberal, because he could renege on it, and so Hillary Clinton says she's against it too. It's just, for some insane reason, you trust Trump more. Even though he's a total fucking charlatan and he's been spending his whole goddamn life lying. But you trust him. Besides that shit, he said
he wants to bring American jobs back from overseas.
Well, that doesn't fucking mean anything. There are two things that matter in politics. The two most important things are policy and past record. Trump does not have a past record of anything except being a self-aggrandizing, lying scumbag on a reality TV show who spends all his time propping himself up and inflating his own ego. That's the only thing that he has going for him. He has no fucking record, and just going bankrupt, many, many times, being an asshole, and just saying, oh, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, yeah, believe me, I'm the best, I'm gonna make it the best. That's what he's got. Hillary Clinton, she has a record, she's kind of flip-flopped quite a bit, she's evolved and changed over time. She's not my ideal candidate. I would have wanted Bernie Sanders, but to whisper of what once could have been. So when it comes to record, Donald Trump's got fucking nothing to go on. Except being a loudmouth. He's changed his position so many times, it's absurd. And the second one is policy. And bringing jobs back to America is not a policy. That you can't do anything with that. So I think one of the big problems here is that TJ is a complete political illiterate. He doesn't appear to have any fucking knowledge of the history of the Republican Party and how for years and years and decades they've been trying to build on the fears of the American people, because what they care about is cutting regulations and cutting taxes and giving handouts to corporations. That's all they've ever fucking cared about, and Trump is going to do the same goddamn thing. He's not an outsider. He's going to be the same peon and tool, because he doesn't even want to take a hands-on approach to his presidency. He'll just have a bunch of right-wingers around him telling him, Mr. Trump, you should do this. Mr. Trump, you should do that. And he's not going to keep his promises. He's not that kind of person. Look at his career. He doesn't keep his fucking promises. He fires people, and he closes down businesses, and he goes bankrupt, and he buys a golf course, and he makes his shit in China, and no one fucking cares. He's just a complete hypocrite. He just does whatever the fuck he wants, because you won't look at the evidence. The evidence is the policies. In politics, the evidence is the policies, and the track record. And he's got neither of those. So how the fuck could you possibly say he's a liberal? What's that based on? What evidence? What can you show me from Trump except him being a loudmouth? That's the problem. You're not being skeptical. You're not skeptical anymore. You just take what Trump says because you agree with his whole fucking thing to do with the culture wars. And Muslims are bad. The Muslims are coming. These SJWs. These goddamn feminists and the feminazis in the PC. So if he just says something along those lines, you don't give a fuck what he's actually going to do, and how much that will impact other people's lives in probably very horrible ways. Cutting access to healthcare by just doing away with Obamacare and trying to have these pathetic health savings accounts that are not going to work, giving tax breaks to massive corporations, and basically shredding the social safety net. I remember way back in the day, TJ used to do this voice where he would mock, Christians, Southern Christians, for being ignorant because they base things off the Bible. So he would be like, well, I don't know about that evolution, but that Bible is awful good, and I'm going to meet Jesus in the heaven. It's going to be fantastic. I think after having made this Trump video, TJ should talk in that voice about himself with Trump. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't know too much about that Trump's policies, but he talks a good game, and I don't much care for those Muslims. That Trump is a real good sort. He tells it like it is, none of that PC nonsense with the SJWs. Because that is the level of TJ's thinking. There's one moment in this video that I found really revealing, and I just gotta address that because it totally illustrates everything wrong with the style of thinking of these so-called skeptics who are either openly supporting Trump or defending him every single fucking day on Twitter and then complaining when people call them right-wing because they keep defending Trump. And then they always say, no, that's the thing, is if you criticize Trump, you get stronger. If you call Trump a racist, that just makes him more popular. So when he says racist stuff, you're just supposed to say, that's great. Fantastic. Trump's not racist at all. Yeah. And then that will beat him. What? That's not fucking politics. You have to fight. In politics, you have to fucking fight. Otherwise, you never win. You never get anywhere. So these people who are saying, oh, you can't fight against Trump Because if you call them names, you just get stronger. They don't understand how politics works. That's not how it works. How it works is you fight and you beat them. But that's hard to do because there's a lot of people who are extremely fucking racist, who hate Mexicans, who hate Muslims because Muslims are race. Okay, I was just saying that to trigger you, but you get my point. Arabs, brown people. And if you think that's not what he's doing, you're fucking dumb. Anyways, here's the moment.
And I know what some of my most ardent liberals in my audience are going to say. They're going to talk about Trump as unfit because of things like him saying on Fox and Friends that we need to target the families of terrorists, that we can't just go after ISIS. We got to go after the wives and children of ISIS fighters. Well, yeah, I agree that it's a monstrous thing that Trump said there, but guess what? Trump said it, but Obama's already doing it. 90% of drone strikes don't kill their intended targets, which to me shows that the U.S. already has a tacit position of fuck Middle East civilians, let them die. Trump isn't the bad guy because he says things that we already do.
Now to me, like, that just sums it up perfectly. When you're so fucking ignorant that you're basically saying, the U.S. already does bad stuff, so if someone else wants to keep doing bad stuff, we're already doing that, so let's just keep doing it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just keep doing the bad stuff. You know, Obama is already killing people with drones, and he's already killing civilians, so Trump's not the bad guy. We should vote him in, and then he'd do it more. How does that fucking make sense? Maybe you should try to stop it. Maybe you should say, hey, it's fucking wrong when Obama does it. I think Obama is a war criminal. And Obama even has blood on his hands in a more personal manner because he would actually personally call on the drone strikes and he would say, bomb that shit. And then people would get killed. And he personally had a hand in that. So yeah, Obama's got blood on his hands. But what you seem to want is just a president who just has blood on his hands all the fucking time. Because you don't care about precedent. You don't care about that, whoa, maybe what Obama is doing was wrong. Maybe that was bad. Maybe we don't want to continue that. No, it's fine, you know. Obama already did it, so fuck it. Do you apply that reasoning to anything else? So they took evolution out of school. But we're already doing that, so why try to put science back in? Or if you're against the death penalty. You know, normally I'm against the death penalty, but, you know, this guy's already doing it, so let's just keep doing it then. Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. You should fight for what you're for. Don't just say the status quo is just fine then. I don't fucking care if it's Obama. I think Obama's been very disappointing in many ways. But the thing that really stood out to me about this particular moment is this is the shitty attitude that got people things like the Iraq War, just this complacency. This feeling of, well, stuff's already bad. So we might as well just say, fuck the common man, fuck the people. You know, they can suffer. They can just lose their benefits and they can lose their access to healthcare, and yeah, let's just cut the taxes for the rich. I mean, it's already shit, so why not just make it worse? It's defeatist and it's pathetic. And I think it's just because TJ, he is ignorant and he's not informed. He doesn't know about the history. All he wants to do is say like, yeah, he's really edgy, he's really cool, he's a real badass.
A war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
But there's actual people's lives on the line. Without borders, we can't have a country, and that's the thing, is Trump wants to maintain our borders. We don't want America to get destroyed externally, but they kind of do want to get America destroyed internally because they hate SJWs. They want to go back to having the policies that created the worst track record on job creation in history. They want to go back to the policies that created about 3 million jobs under George Bush, not counting that the Great Recession hit under him, partly due to some deregulation by Bill Clinton. But independent of that, he only created about 3 million jobs. There's a few different statistics out there, but that seemed like a fair one. Versus Obama, who has created about 9.5 to 13 million. They want to go back to those fucking policies because they don't like some SJWs or whatever. And they think the brown people are going to destroy America, and that the way to solve that is by building some fucking wall that is not going to be effective because you need a wider change in immigration policy to actually do anything about that, and which Mexico will never fucking pay for. And so it's just a bunch of lies. So there's this amazing thing. It's called Google. I'm going to try using it now to see who is more liberal out of Clinton or Trump. Clinton versus Trump policies, because policies are the currency of politics. So the first website we've got here is Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, presidential candidates InsideGov.com comparing. It says InsideGov is a government research site that uses graphic semantic technology to deliver deep insights via data-driven articles, visualizations, and research tools. So essentially it's an aggregator of speeches and policy positions in order to come to a score. Ideology scores for these candidates are adapted from the Vote Match political philosophy quiz developed by OmniIssues.org. It's collected votes, excerpts from speeches, press releases, and other public statements related to each question and scored them using a methodology, yada yada. So it's a collection of information. TJ Kirk has in his name the Amazing Atheist. So you would think that an atheist would care about atheist issues. Let's see how Donald Trump is when it comes to atheism.
No man can be successful as President of the United States without your wisdom. And so we ask you today to give this man your wisdom boldly, make sure and certain that he hears. Manifest yourself to him.
First we see abortion is a woman's unrestricted right. He disagrees. Hillary Clinton strongly agrees. So in that sense, Donald Trump is not libertarian at all. Donald Trump, legally require hiring women and minorities. Neutral, no option. Well, it could be fair. Legally require hiring women and minorities, strongly agrees. You might disagree with that. Evil SJWs, oh my god. Comfortable with same-sex marriage, disagrees. Comfortable with same-sex marriage, strongly agrees. So TJ Kirk doesn't care about same-sex marriage. Otherwise, why would he tell his audience to vote for Trump? Keep God in the public sphere, strongly agrees. Keep God in the public sphere. Agrees. Well, it sucks that Hillary Clinton agrees, but Donald Trump strongly agrees. I don't think it should be in the public sphere at all. We don't have an ideal candidate to vote for here, but Donald Trump regularly goes and sucks up to the religious right, which are the people which TJ Kirk apparently has been against all of these years. For no foreseeable sane reason, just says vote for this guy who's aligned with the religious right.
I will probably not vote, but if you are inclined to vote, I say vote for Trump.
There's no way I would ever do anything to do negative to a Bible.
Why is he called the Amazing Atheist? He just should be called the Amazing Guy. Hi, I'm the Amazing Guy. I'm not the Amazing Atheist because I don't give a fuck about atheism anymore. I don't care if they keep God in the public sphere strongly. How about this? Stricter punishment reduces crime. He strongly agrees with that. Okay, so yeah, I guess TJ Kirk is fine with the war on drugs. It's working out great.
Yeah, we're a bastion of freedom and democracy, but we also have the most people in prison. Oops. That's because this here's America, boy. And here in America, that's just how we do things. We lock up the peoples do wrong, but we let the people who believe in Jesus and wave the flag roam free to be exploited in their homes by a government ever more desperate for power and control.
You used
and we have to stop the source.
You used to think that legalization, taking the profit out, would solve that problem. What changed your mind?
Well, I did, and I not think about it. I said it's something that should be studied and maybe should continue to be studied. But it's not something I'd be willing to do right now. I think it's something that I've always said maybe it has to be looked at because we do such a poor job of policing. We don't want to build walls. We don't want to do anything. And if you're not going to want to do the policing, you're going to have to start thinking about other alternatives. But it's not something that I would want to do. But it's something that certainly has been looked at, and I looked at it. If we police properly, we shouldn't do that.
Working out great. No big fucking deal because he's against the SJWs. That's the thing that's really important. He's against the PC. Therefore, stricter punishment reduces crime. Yeah, real smart. Let's continue the school-to-prison pipeline because SJWs. Absolute right to gun ownership. Strongly agrees. TJ Kirk probably agrees with that. So he wants to vote for someone who's aligned with the religious right. And weirdly enough, at least on this one, privatized Social Security says agrees with Donald Trump. I'd have to look into that because he said that he didn't agree with that, unless he's changed his position. That one is bullshit. You can't just look at one website. Diffin. This is an unbiased comparison of the political positions and policies of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Position on immigration. Build a wall on the Mexican border and make Mexico pay for it. Deport all criminal aliens. Defund sanctuary city. End birthright citizenship. Healthcare. Get rid of Obamacare. Let insurance be sold across state lines. Yeah, because that'll fucking fix it. Premiums should be tax deductible. On abortion, changed stance, now in favor of outlawing abortions. Well, look at that. He kind of has a record of changing his positions. Maybe he could change some of the positions right now that you like. Position on the minimum wage. Comments all over the map. Oh, that's surprising. Economic policies. Declare China a currency manipulator. Because he'll go up to China and be like, hey,
cut it out.
And then they'll just stop it. Yeah, it's a great fucking plan. He's got the best policies in the world, TJ. So there we go.
I say vote for Trump.
Logic, reason, rationality? Fuck those things. Fuck evidence. Fuck caring about what happens to people. It's just like a roller coaster. So it's my personal opinion that the atheist community on YouTube has completely sold out its own ideals. If you look at a lot of these people's videos, like Skeptic, for example, he never includes any references and citations. He never includes any evidence. When you see what TJ Kirk is looking at in terms of Trump, he's just going based on his rhetoric. He's just taking his word for it. He's like, yeah, he doesn't like PC, so he must be good. He doesn't look at the policies. He doesn't look at the history. He doesn't look at the proposals of what these people actually want to do. He just takes Trump at his word. Because I don't know. I don't know why they do that. They just take it on faith. I don't like Hillary Clinton, and I'm not the kind of person who would say, you have to vote for Hillary Clinton. Because there's Jill Stein, you could vote for her, or you could just not vote. And TJ himself says, at the start, I'm probably not going to vote. Then why the fuck are you telling your followers to vote for Trump if you're not going to vote? Do you just want to make sure that things are as bad as possible? I'm not going to vote. I'm just going to tell a few 100,000 people to vote for Trump because I'm a really great guy. Believe me. Well, thanks a fucking lot. Anyways, you don't have to vote for Hillary Clinton. But that doesn't mean that you should vote for this right-wing pile of trash, Donald Trump. And the thing is, a lot of people have a problem being called right-wing. There's a YouTuber called Edgy Sphinx, who I've had a few arguments with before, and he calls himself an alt-right-winger. And you know what? I respect that. I respect the fact that he's willing to say, you know, I support Trump, I talk about Trump every day, and I say nice things about Trump, and I'm a right-winger. And I'm like, yeah, he's intellectually honest. I do not judge him for that. I just think, okay, well, he's telling me who he is. He's like, yeah, I'm like alt-right, or a person on the right. But then you got these other people who spend all of their time defending Trump, basically, and then even saying, you should vote for Trump. And they are not willing to say, maybe I'm sort of right-wing. You don't even have to be completely right-wing, just like a little bit right-wing. Why is that such a, like, cancerous position for you to take, that you're right-wing? Like, what's going to happen? Some kind of, like, demon is going to come out and then your soul will go to hell? Nah, you're a kind of right-wing. Just fucking admit it. And on that, Sargon Picard can never leave well enough alone. He just has to get in something stupid. He has to say something moronic. He has no choice. So about TJ Kirk endorsing Trump, I was like, ha 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 ha. So he said that his followers should vote for Trump. What are you gonna do? Call him right-wing? Yeah, of course you fucking are, because Trump is the right-wing conservative candidate. If telling your followers to vote for Trump is not right-wing, nothing is. What the fuck is right-wing to you? Is anything right-wing? It seems like the only thing that's right-wing to these guys is the Nazis, basically, or Mussolini, and even then they can't agree, because some say that they are socialists. But yeah, only the most extreme of the extreme are considered right-wing by these guys. But they seem to think that the left is just this huge tent and everyone can come along, la-di-da, I'm going to tell my followers to vote for the guy who's going to cut regulations and cut taxes and basically shred the social safety net, la-da-la-la-la, but we're all left-wing. No, that's not how it fucking works. That's not what left and right means. They actually stand for things, actually mean things, and I think besides the whole social justice warrior, feminism, whatever bullshit, a lot of it is to do with economics, and if you're going to spend all your time defending and even saying to vote for the person who's going to have the right-wing economic policies, then that's right-wing. So Sargon, why is Sargon mocking that? It's like saying, well, I may have shot him dead in cold blood, but I didn't murder him. Yeah, you did. That's fucking murder. Or I may have taken the candy bar from the store and run away, but I didn't steal anything. Yeah, that's the definition of stealing. That's what you did. I may have told all of my fans to vote Trump, who's the right-wing candidate, but that particular action is not right-wing. Yes, it is. That's a right-wing action. So, like, if people think you're right-wing, yeah, what's so scary? Why are they okay with standing up for the right every single day? And Sargon spends all his time basically defending Trump over and over again and saying, if you criticize Trump, he'd get stronger, and wow, it's all liberals' fault that Trump, don't be mean to Trump, don't hurt his feelings. You're being mean to Trump. And shitting on the left, like, look at what the left's doing now, the left has lost its way, oh, the left's bad. You seem to hate the left and sort of defend Trump all the time. Are you sure you're not right-wing? Right-wing? Ugh. The right-wing's disgusting, I'm not the right-wing. I'm a true liberal, I'm a lib. It's contradictory. You need to decide whether the right wing is good by you or whether it's horrible. Whether being called right wing is the worst thing in the entire world, or whether you're willing to admit some kind of affiliation or alliance with them. And I've decided to call Sargon of Akkad an ally of the right wing. He's not right wing, but he's a strong ally. He's always there for them. Whenever they need some help, whenever the left is being a bit mean to them, he'll have your back. And that's about it. Don't bother looking at the policies. Don't bother thinking about what people actually stand for. Don't bother being rational. Don't bother looking at evidence. Don't care about what's going to happen to people in the world. Just let those damn SJWs, all those damn feminists, those damn Muslims. Oh, someone called me a racist. I'm going to vote for the guy who's going to shred the safety net and who's going to cut taxes for corporations because we're on a roller coaster. And he wants to do bad things? Obama's already done bad things, so it's fine. Rational in the rational skeptic community is gone. There's no rational left. And the skeptical part is just people saying stuff. So skepticism now means, my opinion is this. And evidence, there's no evidence. Trump 2016.
Is this what you want? Yes or no? Yes.
Oh my.
That's on you.